Good day and welcome to the Old Emo Dave channel, where today we will be graced with a match between two people who we've seen play against each other multiple times before. Rivals, you may say, in some sense. A young man and an old man fighting off for supremacy on this grey mat. And today we will be watching to see who will be on top in this game. And speaking of old men, I welcome Dave. He'll be
Thank
my
you.
commentary partner for today.
I,
And
I was wondering where that monologue was going, and then as soon as I heard "old," I was like, "Yeah, it's coming, it's
hey,
coming."
man, I thought I'd spice up the intro slightly. Maybe it's kind of cringe, but I say the same thing almost every time. So I thought I just
No, you're
just
all
make an
good.
old man joke.
You're all good, and thanks for being with us here today, John. We are playing almost like a rematch here. We have Gruel, which we would formerly know as boats. I think would be the correct way to address this because there's barely any boats left.
Yeah.
And a player who previously had a deck on the chat, reanimated decks on the channel, is currently today playing as a similar sort of build. In a minute, I'm really hoping he pulls his Obosh out because this is an Obosh reanimated deck. Here it is. Obviously, for people at home, this is F&M. So, you are supposed to declare it before action, but hey, that is nothing harmed there, is it? Just making sure that it's out just as we start
Yeah.
turn one. But in a competitive setting, you would have had to have done that beforehand.
Hmm.
And a great start, and we are seeing hashtag Samuk Gang in the hand there.
Oh, here
It,
we go.
a new aftermath card. I love the curve that's available to this deck now. An Elf on one, and then Samut or Stormseeker on two, is pretty good in any
Mm.
format. Um,
And yeah.
yeah, and he's taking it.
Uh,
He's getting rid of it.
see this guy knows the power of Samet. The Samet gang is strong, but
Sure.
we know that there is a Stormseeker still available, and I'm guessing it's just going to be a straight up 3 damage swing. So what's interesting with this Obosh variant is that it's still a reanimator deck, hilariously, but it's using just the 5 mana enchantment to reanimate
I got you.
the 5 mana saga, which yeah can is pretty alright. I think it. I'm not sure if that's the only one as well that does any. I'm not entirely sure. But I don't believe this is Grixis anymore. I believe this is now just pure Rakdos.
I believe so. Interesting line taken. He let him have Stormseeker, to then later thought seize Chariot.
Mm-hmm.
So net win is they didn't get card draw, but for the price of no card draw, they took one extra damage on the Rakdos side.
Yeah.
However, this Miglos was not in the opening hand, and
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere, they've now just swung for a hell of a lot, and they're scooping and going to game two.
Yeah.
So
And I will say this, Dave. I will say this right now. The Gruul player was about to not attack with a Stormseeker again. I saw that. He just tapped Miglos, and he was counting up the damage on Miglos. He wasn't going to attack with Stormseeker again. What is the obsession with not attacking with a free attacker?
yeah, context for the channel. There's a video up in the top right hand corner here. They may have just forgotten to attack with Stormseeker for lethal in the previous game, and it might have even happened there. But I think spotted by the Obosh player, they were just, yeah, I'm not coming back from this. Let's go game two.
Mhm.
It does kind of happen like this when you have like reanimator slash combo decks, where your combo isn't fast. You do sometimes just tank game one to then start coming back game two, game three, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, odd costed in the right setup, right? It's like it's nothing. and it's about, I guess it's also about turning your disadvantages into advantages in a position like this. And we are seeing an end to the mulligan stage. So the Obosh Rakdos Reanimator player will be probably taken to play in game two. Now, if we're gonna go to game plans, the board wipe sweep as well. We're missing Languish. We're missing Extinction Event. I am not entirely sure like how many options. Is it just sort of deal with the elves and hope that they slow down the Gruul player enough so that they can get into their game plan?
There is that. There is plenty of possibilities. I'll see how this game pans out. On the play, a nice, good old turn one Thoughtseize would probably be very useful, especially when the cool player's gone down to 6.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. So we do see a fabled passage in the Rakdos player's hand, which is interesting. A card I would not necessarily see. Is it just sort of is it kind of a fetch land that kind of works on the back of the fact that since everything's odd costed, you can take turn two to just play a tap land?
Yeah, and you want to turn on Fatal Push, right? More often
Mm.
than not, and that's where that comes from.
Oh yeah, of course, it is an enabler. Oh, okay, now I see the synergy. Now I see it.
It's an enabler to do things with Fatal Push that you have lost because you don't have 2 mana plays.
Hmm. An interesting card in the Rakdos player's hand as well is Lava Axe.
I love that card.
It
Mardu
makes
Gusto
sense.
for the
Yeah,
win.
it makes sense because again, like it's a reanimator deck, right? You draw the card you want to reanimate. You might as well discard it and get a bit of value out of it, right?
For sure. Yeah.
But speaking of a bit of value, the Gruul player is missing a land, unfortunately.
Mm. And and an interested what's that when the lava axe was pointed at the werewolf. We haven't seen Izzet Phoenix in the meta that often for the last 6 months or so,
Yep.
and I don't for the Gruul player who's a recently transitioned commander only player. I think that was just a moment of what is this? But for many of us, Lava Axe has been the bane of our lives for the first year and a half of Pioneer.
Oh man, like when Pioneer was announced as like a format and was starting to pick up, it was just like you can't escape cards like that. It was always like, oh, do they have the three spells? Oh, they have the
Oh,
spell.
Necromentia. What's he gonna name, John?
Well, from what we've seen, I mean, hashtag Samet Gang, I would name Samet just because respect, right? But Stormseeker might be actually a good choice if he decides on it, but I don't believe he picked Stormseeker.
Okay, now I hope they've done this. I didn't hear an announcement. Oh, okay, no, yeah, he definitely clearly said I want to take a Crow War. That's actually the correct pick, I think,
Hmm.
because whatever they're reanimating is big, and a Crow War can steal it. So
Yeah. Interestingly, but we also do see the hearses, which now now the Rakdos player is aware of them. Is he gonna have to like think about that now?
yeah, he needs to think about how he's removing the hearse. But we see creativity in hand. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think reanimate is the plan in this one.
He definitely does play the reanimate card though.
Oh no, absolutely. But you can see creativity there being flicked on in their hand.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so the first game plan here is just make a token and go off.
Hmm. Oh, he attacks with a Stormseeker. You know, like it looks very similar to game one, but we do see a dwarven mind,
Oh, that's
and
like
he does.
that's like literally the absolute godly top deck.
Yeah,
Was it top
it
deck? I
is.
think it was, right?
No, he had it in hand since turn one, but
Oh, okay.
he. But if you look at all his lands, yes, he does run a random triome, but the kicker is that that triome is a mountain, which allows the Dwarven Mine to come in untapped, which will make the token, which then allows creativity. It's not a bad sequence, to be
We love,
fair.
honestly, we love to see it. There is Atraxa. Like, how good was that Necromancer there? Because
Hmm.
that would have put threats galore.
Yeah,
What are they? Is that a beat? No, that's a lightning axe. Okay, that's the graveyard. So
yeah, just fixing up his graveyard. So he is now sort of he's shuffling up his deck because resolving creativity, and now the Rakdos player will be able to look at the top 10 cards and get one of each of a different type of card into his hand. And this could already just be too much for the Rakdos player, for the Gruul player. The Gruul player is lacking mana.
the girl
There's
player can't attack for many turns.
no,
It's-
and while that's happening, you got a big flying vigilance lifelinker smacking face for free every turn. It's a difficult position. I don't even know if there's like so outside of the Akroan War, what kind of removal would be available, right? For
it would be double lightning. It would be double obliterating bolt. Is I think the only thing they actually run that could get there, and I don't even know if they have it in deck at this point.
that is a unfortunate position, but we're going to see some of the pickups here. So there is a Liliana. I still believe the card should be banned. And he's picking up a Atraxa, a Thoughtseize, a Fable, and I
Grab a
believe
lot.
there's a choice of an instant here with
Yeah, that makes sense. Fiery
Fiery
impulse.
Tempest, Fiery Impulse, and I believe has a land choice, or did he already pick a land? He's deciding. Oh, and he goes for all right. So we, I'm not sure. Would you just take the other Dwarven Mine? Yeah, the other Dwarven Mine makes sense. Gives you another token. If the Rakdos player does top deck, for example, another creativity, that's a target that he has access to. Might not want to like double up, but I mean it's an option for the future, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd take Atraxa there. I think I because it's only May, right? So you don't have to
Yeah.
take a creature. So,
Hmm.
but then I suppose is the plan play Liliana or just discard Atraxa? Like,
I guess
yeah,
it
yeah,
is like
yeah, yeah.
in the
No,
deck.
yeah. No, they knew what they were doing there because they were going past hand size.
Hmm.
So, oh, that's rather kind, fun play here. They're gonna play open hand because of the information that's available.
Yeah. Although I do agree with you there, Dave. Like taking the Atraxa doesn't make sense when there's a creativity plan. But you know when it does make sense? When he plays Cruelty of Gix.
It absolutely
And
does.
then which we haven't seen, and I'm convinced is in here, because come on, right? It's a 5 mana card. It's an odd mana cost card
I'm not.
that
I'm
can
not.
swing.
I'm not 100% sure how Ezekiel's chariot just created a spirit and a cat. But hey, we'll let it roll. We'll let it
Oh my
roll.
word.
We'll let it roll if he actually attacks with Stormseeker. No, actually, no. Don't
No,
attack with
no.
Stormseeker. Don't attack with Stormseeker.
So I believe the only thing that's confusing is the fact that he crewed the chariot, period, right?
Because this is basically lose the chariot, opponent goes up 3, goes up 7 actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so gain 7, lose chariot, get a cat, but then gate you have 2 spirits now. Which I'm we know. We know it's supposed to be a
We
cat.
know. We know. Um, Unfortunately, we're not like the Legacy Pro Tour here. We don't have a spotter who's able to change the tokens, but
No.
we are currently playing ourselves on the other tables. So
Yeah.
um, we we as long as the players understand what's going on, that's actually fine. Obviously, in the comments, you're more than welcome to give us feedback and let us know if you spot anything. We do pass it on to the players who do take it in good faith, as long as you give it in good faith. So.
Well,
And they call themselves out as well sometimes. There has been some interesting Discord discussions that have come out from misplays that they've seen. But
I mean, interesting is an interesting way of describing borderline bullying. To be no, just kidding. But like,
oh, he's done it.
you know,
He's put the incorrect color cat on the field.
oh my word, yeah. So again, kind of shady to see when it's like, imagine when there are card effects that care about naming the color of a card, and you're like, well, this cat's white, and it's like, well, it shouldn't be. It should be green. What on earth are you doing? It's not as bad as that guy who was playing Emperor and was using a 2/2 blue white Vigilant Knight token as his samurai. It's like it has all the wrong keywords and it's also in the wrong color.
What do you take? It's chariot, right? Yeah, it's
It is
chariot.
Chariot. It is Chariot. But like, I'm not gonna lie, the Atraxa on her own probably just wins the game here, right?
Oh,
The-
she is the absolute MVP at this point.
Like I can't imagine the Gruul player making a comeback in this board state. And yeah, he concedes there, and they're
Yeah,
going to game three.
they go to game three, and this is a relatively quick game three, and we have a great time every Friday at Firestone Games in Cardiff. You are obviously welcome to join us, and the links are down in the description. Firestone also do offer plenty of hobby miniatures and collectibles and card games, and if you use the link in the description, it does really help the channel.
Mm.
You buy anything, we get a little bit kickback. We can upgrade our cameras, we can upgrade our horrible grey play mat, and
Yeah,
make this experience a cool one. But you know what? Outside of all of that, if you guys are just liking, subscribing, which we know is free and is awesome, if you could come back and watch some more Magic with us, so we can keep doing this and growing the channel. But what do we see in Game Three? It's going to be one of two things: tempo or Atraxa. This pretty much how this plays out, right? There's no crazy little tricks that I think we're going to see. It's just going to be tempo or
mm.
Atraxa. Whatever happens first dominates the game.
Yeah. But what I do find interesting though is that they are sideboarding again for game three. I think both players have seen like cards that they were like, right, I need to deal with that now.
Yeah, no. Have you come across the mono red reanimated deck, John? Whilst you've been plowing away on Arena.
Mono red. How does red reanimate, Dave?
Well, we call it mono red, but obviously it's got a tracks on it.
What?
But
What? Okay. I'm failing to see the reanimation in this, Dave.
um, oh no, sorry, I misspeak. Not so it's all the good stuff. So it's not reanimate, but it is transmogrify and creativity, where you just go mountain, 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 fable, and then one of transmogrify or creativity, whatever comes first. And then you can get a Traxer, but you also play Chandra Hope's Beacon as well.
Oh,
And it goes down that line so that you got the Planeswalker backup. That deck for me is pretty gas and does a lot of dangerous things. But I know if I was playing that style of deck, it would still be for me the Gear Hulk creativity. I think that kind of having all those different extra options, I just think is a really nice top tier way to attack it.
it's it's never a waste of time, you know? And yeah, so let's not waste your time and you can come down to rules of play, not rules of play, to Firestorm to to join us and yeah, just play a bit of Magic with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do like to take it seriously, there is a regional championship qualifier on August the 6th, which you can pick up tickets in the description, where we will, even potentially have a bit of coverage going on. So stay tuned to the channel for any updates on that. Going into Mulligans, really good news for the Obosh player. The school player is going down to 6. Does in game 3 make you think, do I keep a risky 7? Or
Mm.
they
I guess it would depend, right? Because so the Gruul player has a plan, and I believe the plan is they need turn 1 elf into turn 2 good play, right? It worked for them game 1, and I do think this style of Rakdos deck does struggle against that, especially since, like I said,
all the way back, all the way back. Is sorry,
yeah.
I think we've gone down to 5 now because the Obosh player was thinking about putting 1 back there and keep
Mm,
it.
yeah.
So this is like a really unfortunate game 3 outing, to have them both go down to 5.
I mean, in the same way though, right? It makes the feel bads not as bad because they're both still starting off on the same foot in a way. The I guess the only
True.
advantage here is that if the Gruul player literally has nothing in this 5 and they feel like they gotta keep it, like the advantage then goes into the person on the draw, right? Because they have an extra turn to sort of fix the hand up a bit.
Yeah, like the worst thing when you're sitting here is boats when you've gone down to 5, and I've been here with Bantor as another example, is you can have like the curve, you can have your turn 1, turn 2 play, but knowing you're up against a hand that can potentially have fatal push or force seize, like if that's the only option, you're completely crushed.
Mm.
Maybe I was wrong. Let's just see how many gets put back here. Maybe it is a go to 6. Um,
Ooh,
yeah,
some
it does
spicy
look like
hand.
it does look like they're preparing 2 to go back though.
Yeah, but it's not a bad hand for the Rakdos player at the moment. Rakdos creativity player,
Yeah,
from what I
that
can see.
lands and removal and fable and creativity. I think I would rather be on the draw right now.
Yeah, especially with that lava axe. Oh, but he's putting the creativity back.
Secure the mana.
I guess it makes sense, right? You keep that 3 mana, you have Fable to potentially dig for another creativity anyway, and then the access to that removal, right?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, Thoughtseize. Oh, well, yeah, that's the best card. That's probably one of the best things they can see. And a Thoughtseize in a hand where you've had to mulligan down so much, it hurts. It does hurt. It hurts you more than it hurts the
Oh, and look at the lightning axe target. They picked up an Atraxa to go with the lightning axe.
They did, but the 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 Gruul player nearly just passed turn without attacking with the elf. There is like an allergy to free attacks. Honestly, it's just an
Oh,
allergy.
okay. Tapping for to chariot,
Mm-hmm.
kitty cats, mismatch cats. No hate
Mismatched
you.
cat,
All cat,
mismatched
all cat, all
mana.
cat, all cats are welcome.
Yeah.
Is that part of a peril? That was spiked off the top.
Wow. All right. So if it wasn't bad enough for the for the Gruul player, they they've just been utter. The ball's just been gone, and they're back down to 3 mana with a 4 mana enchantment in hand with no targets and a top deck Stormseeker. So this is a game of top decks so far.
That was a very angry Stormseeker attack though. It was, oh, I'll just attack a 3
Oh,
then.
and
Here she is, Lily.
The Liliana to just sort of keep that board clear. I mean, the Rakdos creativity deck probably did the right thing by taking creativity out of the equation here because this is now just Rakdos control, right?
Yep. It resolves. I like it. It resolves, but it's dying. It
Yeah,
was
the lava axe. Oh, and the Rakdos player can plus Lily in order to remove the last card from the Gruul player. Yeah,
yeah.
with Fable on the board as well. This is complete
Mm,
control.
that was some really great sequences as well.
Mm.
Oh, and it was in a Crow War as well.
And it was so top deck mode for both players. But who has the better top deck here? Fable does give the Rakdos player the opportunity to fix his hand, and but it is nighttime. It is nighttime. It's relevant. Relevant.
It
That
is
werewolf
relevant.
can come in. Oh, final land started digging. Now, is this card a playable card by the Rakdos player?
Well, it is.
A Dwarven Mine.
We're gonna see a dwarven mine hit face. Wow.
You know, it's not the craziest thing we've seen on this channel. It, but to be clocked by a Dwarven Mine token, it's a bit funny. It's a bit funny. But we do also see a Den of the Bugbear, so that's a card that can get animated next turn, assuming the Gruul player has no other plays. But
Having a little technical difficulty with the touchscreen.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange to say, but the the Rakdos player has absolute board dominance right now, and another different Goblin art style
Can
showing
we
up.
just appreciate this? Not only have they got multiple tokens, they have
Mm,
multiple art styles which are
yep.
actually relevant to the token.
Mm.
I think we already just have our winner here, and it's whoever drew these tokens.
Oh yes, oh yes. There's this person who drew these tokens. Hey, if this person had like an Etsy account or something, I would 100% buy these designs off that
Oh,
person.
we would have a promo link in the description. That's all I'm saying.
100%. You know what? This person has a talent, and they should be making money with this talent because it'd be worth it.
So Obosh gets played. This is close to game.
I believe this is probably so it doubles the damage on even costed cards. All the tokens, I believe, count as. Oh, sorry, on odd costed cards. So all the tokens being even, I don't believe they gained a benefit.
No, that is right. You are correct. So it's only the Fable which currently, or the Kiki Jiki who gets that.
Yep, at the moment because it's technically a 3 mana card, and it's interesting because the I think they're sort of discussing what's going on, and he's taking back the play or what's go. Oh, okay, they're talking about what's going on here.
Yeah,
What?
they're talking about the fact that the discard trigger didn't happen.
Ah,
The judge over the shoulder there was like, well, let's just wind back because there'd be no
yeah,
damage.
yeah, yeah,
To be fair, pretty much the same outcome happened, which means again, no harm, no foul.
yeah.
It's a must happen trigger, so the trigger
Mhm.
would be expected.
Yeah. And opting to discard, I mean, makes sense. Thoughtseize is kind of a dead card in this position, and a Thrill Seeker into the yard. The Gruul player is kind of like, well, that's a bad top deck, and it's the dinosaur. That see what I mean by bait? This dinosaur is absolute bait, Dave.
A Brotherhood's End would have just helped out there, wouldn't it? But um,
Mm.
a bit of sweet revenge for the Obosh player. They've changed decks and they are taking it down 2-1. Yeah, fun games, fun decks, fun builds. Um, what's your thoughts on it maybe seeing top tier action? Is this a little bit of a stretch, when it comes up against, top tier Monogreed and top tier Lotus Field? It's just a little, like could it compete, or do you think this is more like a fun Friday deck?
I do think this deck has legs, and like we've seen, that Path to Peril was absolutely what swung the game for the Rakdos player in Game 3. And it's one of those things you got to appreciate that a lot of decks in Pioneer do have a very good chance of winning. You know, if you can sort of predict the meta, you can build a deck that can just play into it, or even just have a deck with a plan and then have a sideboard that plays into the meta. So I do think this deck has legs. Lava Axe, very solid removal especially in a style of deck that doesn't care about putting cards from their hand into the graveyard, right?
Yeah, for sure. But great night. They did sideboarding. We're off to bed. John, thanks for the commentary. Any last words?
We are not sleeping in the same bed, just to clarify. I'm going to my own. The old man lives in his own house, and he's going to his own bed.
Like and subscribe.